It's time to discuss the latest with Tesla. Joining us now is Marley Kayden, host for the Schwab Network, to discuss all of the positives that we take away from Wedbush's Dan Ives note. I mean, $600 price target is, I think, the headline story there, because that would imply some nice upside and is well above the average right now, which I believe is roughly like $347 a share.
Yeah, well, it's about a 40%, a little more than a 40% upside with his $600 price target. It's a street high price target as well, up from 500 up to 600. Of course, this is Wedbush's Dan Ives, and maintaining the outperform rating, citing optimism in the company's AI future, but mostly this is concerning autonomous driving and its autonomous driving initiative. Dan Ives says that he sees that potential 40% upside. The price target is also, just to note, 23% higher than Tesla's all-time high of 488, which it hit back in December of 2024. Now, he says that he sees CEO Elon Musk driving Tesla into the next stage of growth, and that he expects the robo-taxis to be rolled out in 30 cities within the next year, saying that he believes the administration will help with some of the approvals in this process, and that's why his timeline is so fast. He also estimates that the AI autonomous opportunity is worth at least $1 trillion, and that's just for Tesla, not industry-wide, just $1 trillion for Tesla. Dan Ives also says he thinks Tesla will own around 70% of the global autonomous vehicle market in the next 10 years, and that the full self-driving feature could see an increase in penetration of more than 50%, which would then change Tesla's entire financial model and the margins for the company. Now, this bullish note is not the only one, like you said, Jenny. There have been 10 price target increases for Tesla just in September alone. Overwhelming optimism for Tesla. They've rallied more than 30% this month, and this is coming right ahead of the global third quarter vehicle deliveries. And they're expecting these to be really great numbers because we're going to see the expiration of that $7,500 EV credit. So Dan Ives thinks the number could be as high as 500,000 units in Q3. Right now, the average estimate is right around 450,000, just under 448,000 would be the average estimate, expecting to see a big boost as people wait for those tax credits to expire, try to get in before they do.
I think a couple things to just of note. It makes sense that Dan Ives has the highest target on the street for this name. Like it just only feels right. But what I would say with Tesla, not to say Dan's right, or even somebody like Colin Langan over at Wells Fargo, who has underweight in 120, or of course we know Gordon Johnson has the $19 target, famously, Jenny and Marley, and that's been updated as well in just the last week or so. This is a stock that is polarizing, not because of just the leader, not just because of the political side of it, but because some people say, hey, this is a car company, and others look at this as a tech and autonomy and an AI company and all these other world-changing things. And you get both sides with this name. And there are people who are like unrelenting in their opinions on it. And then you also have those who are kind of just playing it down the middle. Yeah, Barclays, who's equal weight, kind of a price target around where we're trading, or a little bit below. And it just comes down to, what do you feel? Do you believe in the story that Elon Musk is selling? Or do you think it's a car company? And that'll help you, I think, get to the promised land. But one thing's for sure, betting against this name hasn't been very profitable.
It hasn't, not historically, but it is interesting. This is this constant conversation we're in. Is Tesla an AI company? Is Tesla a car company? Right now, in Dan Ives' argument as to why he now has this street high price target, it's both. Robo-taxi, by nature, is a vehicle they are creating. So yes, it's a combination of the two things. It's the greatest wedding, you could argue, of they're both sides of their business. It's not moving fully into one side and ignoring the sales, flagging sales of their EV vehicles. It's now a marriage of the two, and maybe that's why he's so bullish, because it doesn't remove the other side, it incorporates it.
Well, and the one thing I would additionally say on top of that, which I think is exactly right, is that also the core business, or the car company side, is profitable. So it finances now these other cool projects that Elon and team are working on, where 10, 15 years ago, Tesla was struggling in the core business. Yeah, maybe the sales aren't growing as fast. Maybe they're even decelerating. Maybe they're even going down. But it's profitable in terms of the operation. And that makes it a lot easier to research stuff when you don't have to go ask for money every time you're doing something.
I mean, that's a really good point, because there is not a company that I can find out there that is profitable on a per car basis for their electric vehicles specifically, other than Tesla. I mean, you think about NIO, XPeng, BYD might be closing that gap, but like here domestically, Rivian loses $40,000 a unit. Lucid is losing, I mean, like upwards of double that. So all that to be said, even Ford, GM, their EV sales right now, they're still losing money on. Tesla has figured out a recipe for success. That to me is a reason why it can't be necessarily valued as an auto company. And they have a solar business that you're just choosing to disregard if you're saying this is a pure play on autos. But
oh yeah, you're stubborn if you're still saying
yeah,
that.
you are stubborn. I mean, you're just ignoring the massive portion of their business. And then we added autonomy. I know the skeptics say that we're not like, fully releasing some of these various offerings yet, but I mean, we're close. At least I hope. So that's, I think, the next leg to be excited about, which is what Ives really highlights today. But all that to be said, when you do think about Tesla for trading purposes, again, for an example, I mean, this is a volatile name. It pretty much moves every single week pretty substantially.